A lot of you don't know this, that sometimes there are just many things that people bottle inside of them and have choose not to speak it out to a wider public just because they are not ready to share that part of their life yet, or they are not just in the right frame of mind to do so at that time. I When I made that post and tell you that I have seen pain in my life, I have seen. One of which is why I do not respond to people telling me Happy New Month. I've said it a couple times to some people who are really, really close to me, who I think I might hurt them for not replying. I told them I don't like it. Don't ever send me that message again. Not because your intentions are wrong, but because of the way I remember what New Month is. Ordinarily, I am not someone who waits for anniversaries to be celebrated or to celebrate someone. I think one of the reason could be probably because growing up, my mom, with all the brouhaha that goes on with growing up and all of that, and also growing up in the village, not now that birthday celebration is a thing. I can say it categorically that when I grew up as a child, birthday celebration wasn't a thing for most people, especially for people in our shoe. Okay, so and then I know I was just starting to get used to it. I think the very first time I ever said it's my birthday was when I was in my year two in nursing school. That's the very first time I ever remember to say it. And that's because I've seen my colleagues, celebrate birthdays. I'm like, oh, me, I was also born this today, so I can do that. But in 2020, I was pregnant and I was due to be delivered of my black ebony baby girl in August. And then I started laboring on the 31st. Started laboring on the 31st, and I got to the hospital. And by the time I woke up that morning, middle of the night, people that were already working with started saying happy birthday, happy new month, happy new month. And then again, I left to just briefly say the story because I don't really want to go into the details. Otherwise, I'm going to break down here, and I don't like that in public. At the end of the day, I left the hospital empty-handed. I almost lost my life. As a matter of fact, I was resurrected. I won't be wrong if I said that I died and I resurrected. So whenever I hear someone say Happy New Month, the very first thing that comes to my mind is that night. That particular night. And then I started placing all of them from that night, 1st of August, which would have been my child's birthday, 2020, till every first of the month when somebody say Happy New Month, I started bringing, remembering what happened in 1st August, 2nd and 3rd, till when I was, I left the labor ward, went to ICU, came out of it, and and all of that pain I was in. I was not just in emotional or psychological, I was in physical pains because of the complications and everything that ever happened during that period. So that is one of the reason I do not like to people telling me Happy New Month. You won't hear me say it to someone. Also, when I see people, celebrating, sometimes I'll be like, so I've actually been married for more than 2 years or more than 3 years. Because in my mind, most times it's not ticking. It's like the clock is not ticking and showing that I've been a married woman for more than a year. Sometimes I still feel like it's still small, But then again, I see people who are celebrating more than 2 years, 3 years. These are people who got married after I've given birth already, have after I've been married and all of that stuff, and I see how they are celebrating, counting their anniversaries, and which is part of the things that I do not like to post. I don't even post my marriage anniversary online, um, just because of all these things. I know someone might ask in the comment, why are you saying all these things now? I feel like it is time to let some things out of my mind so that probably I could begin to heal from some of it, because it is much. It is much. I There are so many days I lock myself in the room, I cry my eyes out, and then wake up, take a bath, wash my face, and just go out and behave as if nothing happened. In my place of work, some people would be like, this girl, you're always happy, you're always. That's because I do not want my inside to appear outside. And I really thank God for the kind of body structure God gave to me, which is one of the things that is very helpful. My body structure is such that it doesn't really show, my true self all the time. People look at me and it's very different. I don't look like what I've been through, which has its own benefit and its own very bad adverse effect. Because even though you tell someone, this is my struggle, people don't believe you if you tell somebody, because they look at you and you're like, you look so happy, you look so fresh, you look big, especially with my thick arm and thick body. It doesn't show, which is fine. And at the same time, it's not also good, because you know it makes people take me sometimes on serious. I've had people even tell me, it's like you've never been serious in your life. That's because I don't want to be so serious outside. I don't want to be. If I carry the burden in me and show it to people, I will be pushing so many people out of my life, which is not good. If one thing I have learned so far from my mother's predicament is to let help come from wherever it is coming from. No matter how bad it look, it might be good on the other side. Yeah, it might be good on the other side. Now that's a part I don't want to say for in details, but so if you are one person that have sent me that kind of message before, and I said and I don't reply, and you keep insisting I don't reply, just know that that is why. It's not a very good memory for me, so that is why I do not like to reply to that. And I hope that you all will respect this part of mine. And I think one of the reasons I'm sharing it is because I see that I've had a wider audience of people who always come to my DM to send me messages, and sometimes people just drop that as an intro to let you respond to them, and then they continue the conversation. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, because if you're starting your conversation like that with me, there is a 99% chance I'm going to block you if you do not stop. Especially if you say the first one, I refuse to reply, and you say it again, I'm definitely going to block you. I'm not trying to be rude, but in as much as I want to be nice to people, I also want to protect the little happiness I have inside. I want to go with what God has given me, to not look like what I've been through. That is the part I want to be. And I hope you all respect this. Please, 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 if you send me those kind of messages, I don't reply, please don't take it very personal. It's because it is not something so nice of a memory for me to remember. Okay, maybe in another video I'm going to talk about this in details, but for now, let's just let it out like that. Okay.